Well, good afternoon. This is Monday, July the 27th, and we're taking our devotional today from 2 Kings chapter 19. Our scripture reading also includes Psalms 46, Psalms 80, and Psalm 135. I've titled today's devotional, God is Our Refuge and Strength. Continuing our chronological reading of the Bible this year, we are turning to 2 Kings 19, and you'll notice that the scene is very familiar. We have already covered this in 2 Chronicles 31, as well as in the book of Isaiah. Now, Hezekiah is the king of Judah, and he is a great king. He was a king who humbled himself before the Lord, as we read in 2 Chronicles 31:10, and he led Judah in a national revival. Hezekiah had restored worship, offering sacrifices in the temple. He had organized the priesthood once again, and he had decreed that the people would obey the law and commandments. And even though they, as a nation, were in a great revival, Judah was facing a great enemy. The Assyrian king Sennacherib had already defeated Israel and had led the northern 10 tribes into captivity. Now he had invaded Judah and began his campaign against Jerusalem. Now Sennacherib, the name of the king of Assyria, sent an emissary named Rabshakeh, who demanded that Hezekiah pay tribute to Assyria. Rather than turn to the Lord for help and direction, Hezekiah foolishly sought to appease his enemy. And when that failed, he then attempted an alliance with Egypt that also failed. Now, 2 Kings chapter 19. The foe is at the gate, and Hezekiah has gone to the temple, and he's cried out to the Lord there, as we find in verse 1 of 2 Kings 19. While he was praying, the king also sent a messenger to Isaiah to seek his counsel and a word from the Lord. Well, Isaiah sent an assurance back to the king that the Lord had promised to send a rumor that would trouble the king of Assyria so much that he would withdraw from Judah, return to his homeland, and there he would fall by the sword. Now, Sennacherib was incensed by Hezekiah's refusal to yield and pay tribute, and he scoffed at the king's faith in the Lord. Boasted of all the nations he had conquered, Sennacherib threatened he would do the same to Judah. But the Lord kept this promise to Hezekiah. And we read in chapter 19, verse 35 of 2 Kings, that it came to pass that night that the angel of the Lord went out, and he smote in the camp of the Assyrians 185,000 slain. Judah arose the next morning and realized that the threatening army of Assyria was no longer there. Instead, the dead corpses of all those who had died under the sword of the angel of the Lord were there. Isaiah had prophesied Sennacherib would return to his homeland, and he did, defeated, and there he was assassinated by his own sons. I want to close with a blessed assurance of God's sovereignty today. We read in Psalm 46 and verse 1, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. David says, therefore will not we fear, though the earth be removed and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea. Psalm 46 and verse 9. The Lord maketh wars to cease unto the end of the earth. He breaketh the bow, he cutteth the spear in asunder. He burneth the chariot in the fire. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Let me say this afternoon. There are a lot of things in this world right now that are not right. And there are no doubt many of you listening to this who are struggling with fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of the government, a fear of rioting, fear of attacks. Well, I can't tell you what today holds or tomorrow holds, but I can assure you of this, that God is sovereign. He will make the wars to cease. The thing that you and I should do as we're troubled is something that is a challenge for me to do, and that is to be still and know that God is God. He is the Lord of all the armies of heaven, and He waits to be our refuge. Find refuge in the Lord today. Read His Word. Be encouraged by it. May the basis of the things that we think and our response to the world around us be based in the Scriptures that never changes. God bless you. Have a great day in the Lord, I pray. God bless.